Do you remember the great Helen Cabaret from Anamika, where Anamika, she's wearing a pink dress and she's carrying a cheerful pink umbrella and she's dancing in the water in a London setting because there's a post box and whatnot. So she jumps into this, she's singing, and a young man comes up and tries to attack her. He's not a very good attacker. He tries to hit her with his raincoat, which is a bit silly, but eventually he manages to wrestle with her and pushes her into the telephone box and rapes her. He comes out, and the camera then focuses on Helen's face, which is a face of satisfaction. It's a face of pleasure. It's a post-coital face. And then the man she has been waiting for turns up, and she starts dancing with him. It is and outside this scene is Jaya Bhaduri and Sanjeev Kumar, who are kind of there for some reason that we don't know, because he's a writer and his heart has been broken and she's someone who imposes herself on him. You don't know. We don't know what actually went on in that film. But, as you can see, I can talk forever about Helen, who's one of my favorite subjects, simply because I think, there's always something that I'm discovering. When I was looking at this film, for instance, I was thinking about what discomfort Helen produces. And there's the discomfort of wanting somebody. And Helen, I think, produced one of the archetypes that every Hindi film heroine should possibly emulate, which is, from chin upwards, you have to be innocent. Your face has to look as if you're virginal. From chin downwards, you have to be a slut. When you are Madhuri Dixit, you can do this. Your face will always look out as if I'm pretty, I'm wonderful, I'm sweet, I'm innocent, and I'm the girl you want to marry. But the body is the girl you want to sleep with tonight. This is the essential dichotomy of how women are presented in patriarchal cinema, especially in India. That the body must suggest a contradictory message to the face, and the contradictory message may be at the heart, at the bleeding heart of how much disruption there is about in our association with the other sex. And Cineblitz and Helen had a very bad relationship. There was a sex slave diaries incident, remember? Obviously you all didn't go to barber shops. Because see, in middle class India, you could not subscribe to Hindi film magazine. You could subscribe to Reader's Digest, Illustrated Weekly of India, India Today, but Hindi film magazines, you got to read in the barber's shop. So we all got haircuts regularly and caught up with with what was happening in cinema. So I remember reading the sex diaries, Helen's sex slave diaries, in Cineblitz, and telling other people, you go, get your haircut, while I was continuing to read happily. But this kind of mythology that, she was illiterate, etc., I think is untrue. You don't need terribly many years before you learn ABC and you learn to put the words together if you want. Yeah, so I think there's some kind of... the relationship that Helen had with the mainstream press, also with the film press, was also very tortured, was also very tormented, because they didn't know what to make of her. She was not obviously a star. She couldn't sell a film. When she was a heroine, the films flopped. She was heroine in Sultana Daku. She was heroine in a film that is lost forever. It's called Chor Darwaza. She plays Helen of Troy. How cool is that? Helen playing Helen of Troy. I went to the archives specially to see this film. Naimilera. I said, but where is it? Naimilera. But I came back with her. Huh? She's married to Salim. She's very happy. She's settled down in Bandra. And, she goes to St. Andrew's Church on Sunday morning. And if there is a atrocities against minorities march, then she wears a big rosary and she joins the march. Mainstream cinema is not ever going to be anything other than a reflection of the horrible attitudes of mainstream India. Now, suddenly, therefore, you begin to say, but, I used to make a big thing about this. I'd say in the 1970s, in a film, you would see Amar Akbar Anthony in English. Then you see Amar Akbar Anthony in Devanagari. And underneath, you'd see Amar Akbar Anthony in Urdu. In the 1980s, Urdu vanished. 90s, Urdu vanished. 2000s, Urdu came back. Eh? I said to myself, we like the Muslims now. Don't be silly. Then suddenly it occurred to me that these films go to England, where 8 pounds a seat pe log aate hain. And there are lots of Pakistani Muslims in Bradford who like to see Hindi films because they grew up with them. So suddenly the Qawwali is back. You've seen Bhool Bhulaiya with Akshay Kumar, no? It is. Throughout the film, it's all Hinduism. The Pandits, it's not mainstream Hinduism. They're mocking the Pandit, they're mocking the astrologer, they're doing a lot of other funny stuff. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, there's a Qawwali. Yali! Sorry, what? Where? How does that fit? How does it fit? It's very simple. मेरे फिल्म देखने कौन आता है? पारसी लोग तो नहीं आते. Fun. Christian लोग तो वो Western cinema दिखते हैं. Fun. All the women are sluts and all the men are drunkards. And बाकी का जो अच्छे बच्चे, whatever is left behind, then they go and those are Robert. They go and say, माल पहुंच गया boss. That's their job in life. बस. Yeah? So those two are out. South Indian लोग के पास वो अपना ही सिनेमा है. छी थू. चेन्नई एक्सप्रेस बना दो. Then they will say, okay, Chennai Express bana diya, hum Rajdhani Express karega. And they will mock the way Hindi people speak Tamil. Only Hindi people don't speak Tamil. Because they don't speak any other language. We speak English and Hindi. What andagundu they are speaking, we don't know. So I don't get this. I mean, but I understand this. Ranjana, for instance, seems to be like, is being again and again suggested it's an alternative film. It's a stalker, okay, and a tease put together in one relationship. It terrifies me. So I don't mind my mainstream cinema where Karan Johar shows you all handsome people dancing and young women dancing and everyone is happy in the end and Ma gives Ashirwad and Ma is, and everyone is. Sometimes I feel, even they know, you can see on their faces they don't believe this stuff. But they're doing it because they feel 50 crores is giving, chal, let us go. Why not? I get it. Money at the end of the day, there's that wonderful George Bernard Shaw thing where he asks a woman, would you sleep with me for £1 million? So she says, of course, Mr. Shaw. So he says, how about £5? So she says, no, of course not. What do you take me for? He said, we've established that. Now we're only haggling. So when you get these lamba chauda explanations from, some heroine who says, I took the role because there are shades of grey in it. I'm playing this poor girl who is in love with this rich boy and his parents don't approve. So we run away together and go up to the mountains and sing 2 songs and then we are caught by the villainous and funny police officer who drags us back to the city and then we are separated and we sing 2 songs of separation and then we are reunited in the end because it's discovered that actually I'm also very rich. But there are shades of grey in this character. It's so nice. I'm thinking, Arey, we know who you are. Now you're only haggling. If you're doing this shit only for money, we know what you're about.